Board to order. The first thing that we're going to start with is we have minutes to review. Thank you to Jessica for putting those together.
I will make a motion to approve.
All right, excellent. Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so approved. All right, excellent. So let's talk about the ADUs. We had our, I didn't put this on the agenda, but I guess the first thing to kind of talk about is we had our information session.
Last Saturday?
I don't know, what is time?
Yeah, it was.
I think that was.
Just a week ago.
Just a week. I thought it went pretty well. We had I was a little nervous at first, but I felt like I had a good turnout.
Yeah.
And not as big as some of our other ones, but almost everybody there was very serious and ready to was qualified to put in an application. So a lot of very serious conversations.
It was good and very informal. Jim Tyner talked about his
Oh,
experience and, kind of just told everybody what it's been like going through the grant process. Two CDC LI guys talked and gave their spiel. And then we just all talked to the participants there and answered questions if they had them. And some people were filling out applications
Yeah.
or interest forms.
Yeah. I thought I was really, really pleased. So just as an update, we're kind of still at the same spot, which is just we have 1 done, 3 in active construction. And then, oh my gosh, am I getting this wrong? We have 4 behind that. We have 8 approved, so there's another 4 behind them that have been approved and are in the design process. It's 4, I have all these charts. So 1 done, 3 in build, and then 4 underneath it. And I did talk to Gwen a little bit. We have so that's that and then we have 3 more applications that are qualified that they're reviewing them behind that. So for a total of 11 in the queue. And so we got 11 in the queue, so that's pretty good. I did talk to Gwen O'Shea, who's the executive director at CDCLI, who administers this. And because I think we're ahead, but the whole program did get off to a slow start just because as they figured it out. So they did give us an extension, but she wanted to give us a heads up that they do want to close round 1 and have whoever's going to be signed in round 1 by September.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that would be, we need to have 8 more commits. So we obviously have more than that in the pipeline, but it's been our experience that some of those have kind of shaken out. So just as something to kind of know, I was kind of thinking we just did this information session, but maybe as we get a little bit into summer, kind of do some kind of, anyway, I just want everybody to think about hey, last chance for this round kind of situation.
I had also gotten a postcard
Yeah.
in the mail the same week, so.
Yeah.
I think that was good just to raise awareness again.
Yeah. So I do think that they would probably do, I don't know if right away, but in a month or 2, I think we should put something out specific to just be hey, this isn't open forever.
Yeah.
If we don't fill this round, then we're gonna give back the additional monies, which.
Sometime in May.
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt, right? Or beginning of June or something like that when people are here.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted to kind of put that out to everybody and just to maybe even be thinking about between now and the next meeting of if you had any ideas about a good way to communicate that, we do social or, do you want to do an ad? What do, I don't know, think think thoughts, see what you come up with.
Liz, just quick question. Yeah, it
Yeah.
looked like from that article, which was phenomenal,
Oh.
that they talk about the septic holdup.
Yep.
How much of that is an influence on the timing of the people in the queue?
Well, the thing is, what we need from, it's holding people up for completion. The state just needs to have 8 more commits. So, I mean, obviously, we're committed to getting all the projects all the way done. But for the purposes of filling this round, we would just need to have folks signing the grant agreement and started.
So you can do that prior to getting the septic grant.
Yeah, basically, it's like
Okay.
committing and like being in process, right? Like,
Right. So
basically,
there's no excuse.
yeah, so basically we have to like have the grant agreement signed and be like working with the contractor, you know what I mean? Like be like doing it. They don't have to be done by September, but they need to be like committed and in the process. So, but we should talk a little bit about that just like as an update. So there's kind of 2 pots of septic money. So there's like county money that's available for this, but they prioritize failing systems. So that means that our ADU folks always are at the bottom of the list because they're not failing, you know what I mean? Like it's just kind of like not on fire.
They should be put to the top of the list.
Right, so but there's also a second pot of money that's specifically for that, but it's just taking a while for it to come online. But there's like anyway, like I know Jimbo has been working on it. I've been working on it as well, kind of like trying to apply pressure at like every different elected official that we can think of to like we're writing a letter with some of the other communities to county to like talk to them about it, and like going to like Catherine Stark and like Tommy John and like, you know what I mean? Like coming at it to try to apply pressure from all angles, but it's definitely been, I would say it's definitely been a source of frustration because like a lot of folks could use that cash to get it, you know, and it's like,
They're losing out on money
yeah,
and they're paying their
Yeah.
portion of the mortgage.
yeah. So it's a tough one.
I've been poking the county.
Yeah.
Every week I send them new updates. Julia Friolo was like, stop calling me. I was like, no.
No, I'm not gonna
No.
stop. Yeah. Yeah. No, and it's just like
Until I
you're,
see the money.
I
yeah.
mean, what is it, just sitting in files on somebody's desk?
Well, what it is it's a separate pot. So they're trying to figure out how to tie CDCLI into their review process that they're currently using for the other septic grant. So it's like an independent grant just for the ADU +1 program. So they're just trying to figure out how to get all the hurdles in line.
It's bureaucracy.
But it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
It's bureaucracy. It's just bureaucracy.
I think once they get it online, it'll go pretty quickly because now they have everything with digital signature, you can do digital contracts, so it should turn around quickly. It's just them getting it online.
Is there a timeline on them getting it online?
I mean, they've been
March.
getting it online since like January.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, and I just feel bad, like Jimbo and Mary are like the bleeding edge. They're like one of the first people through, but it's like still. Anyway,
It's just the last.
it's crazy making. RFQ update. We've got our walkthrough tomorrow. Brandon, Bill and I got to learn what a walkthrough was.
Yeah.
Brandon, do you want to talk about it since you've done all the heavy lifting on this one?
I mean, we're gonna meet with a couple of candidates, developers.
Yeah.
We're coming out to view the sites tomorrow. We are going to give them this like information pack, which you guys have. Bill and Liz and I worked on this, which has like the septic engineering drawings from Matt Sherman, the surveys that we have, and the stuff we had done and Michael Shackman had done as part of the like kind of community outreach around the site plans and the designs we've been working on. So we're gonna just show them the sites and answer any questions that that developers have. And I guess one of the things I will be doing is acting as a scribe. If they have any questions, we'll write them down. We have to publish that list of questions and answers in some form on our site for potential other developers as we move forward.
So we will be taking the questions, both the ones that we may be able to answer and the ones we won't be able to answer. It would be like we'll give preliminary answers and then we'll give, when we issue
Official
the
answers.
official answers, when we do the whole thing.
How many builders do you tomorrow?
We know, we've heard from about, but like I know 2 confirmed, so.
Local or?
One from the South Fork, and CDCLI is coming out. So. Yep.
Nobody, no local builder from
So
Shelter.
they haven't, I mean, they haven't like reached out to confirm times, but they,
Okay.
you know,
They could
yeah,
potentially show.
or they might not be coming to the walkthrough because they know the sites, so, you know, that's not required, but
Yeah, gotcha.
How many responses have we gotten to the RFQ?
we've gotten no responses to the RFQ yet. Yeah, this is like, but we don't expect them before the
Well,
walkthrough.
yeah, I mean, like, how much interest, how many people have reached out for information?
Well, I mean, we probably had like 8 people that I got back to once we had it posted,
Okay.
but there was just such a long lag
Yeah.
time that we might, you know, we'll see, yeah.
Right.
And, you know, we've done some work pushing it out through, just kind of publicizing it, and David's done some work with like getting it out to the Long Island, what was the name of the organization that you were working with?
Long Island Builders Institute?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So kind of got that pushed out there, so, yeah. I mean, just to be like, to manage everybody's expectations, I don't expect a huge volume of responses.
Yeah.
It's a difficult project, but
I love 3.
yeah, you know what I mean? But like, I just think that, you know, we'll get if we can get a handful of good ones, then we can make some good choices.
So Liz, that group did offer, if, you know, depending on where you think we are, I think in May, they
Uh-huh.
have something in, like, at that, whatever that big hotel is.
Oh,
on
yeah, you saw,
Manhattan.
yeah, and I think that, you know,
We can put up
let's,
a table and go if you think we're short on.
I think that, yeah, let's see, you know, I saw that you sent that to me, David, and I think that like, let's see what it looks like, and then if we don't have as many choices as we want, I think that would be a great way to do it.
I'm happy to do it, but if it's obviously going to be sitting at a table for a day with some builders walking by. So
Sounds fun.
yeah, no, it's a hoot, but you know, we got to get it done, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey
In
Liz,
Vegas?
Oh, good question. Yeah, where is it, David?
It's at the Marriott at 110.
Oh, not Vegas.
LIE in the southern state.
Oh, no, less exciting, but we could still make it
A
work.
few of us could go and do shifts.
Yeah, yeah. Ben, sorry, did you?
oh, I was just wondering, did we hear from Terry at Xenolith Partners?
He hasn't, no, they haven't reached out specifically.
Oh, okay. But they got the initial.
Yeah, I
package.
reached back out to let everybody who we'd spoken to, let it know it was posted.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, maybe I'll give her a jingle.
yeah, cool.
Yeah, great.
Contract update?
Okay, and one other question.
Right.
Contract update is easy.
Okay,
I've spoken to Miriam a couple of times and wanting to get a little bit ahead of the documents that are going to have to be prepared, because given the way normal things go, they're probably going to go through a few iterations and have a lot of comments both here and, you know, on the outside. And I'd rather have as many of the internal ones here done early
yeah.
as we can. So has started some work on that, and there are a number of documents that will have to be done, and there are going to be some questions along the way. I would hope that we'll have something towards the beginning of the next month that we can
Great.
start doing with, based on not this week's, the week before's conversation on it.
Okay, well, and thank
So it
you.
was still further away for us, so who knows what'll happen in the interim.
Well, thanks for working on that
Yeah.
and getting us something.
The second thing, though, I have isn't the contract. I was going through the proposed
I know,
dates,
yeah.
and next Saturday
Uh-huh.
is supposed to be the pre-proposal conference. I think we missed the fact that it was a Saturday when we put this out.
Yeah.
We all just kind of like whoop, right through it.
Uh-huh.
I think we should amend that to a different date.
Well, regardless.
Especially
of-
because I'm not available next Saturday.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that what we should do is, yeah, first of all, we need to decide on publish a time,
Right.
and then probably connect, just like we did before with like our lawyer and our friends in East Hampton and Southampton, just make sure that we have best.
Well, I'm
practices.
gonna call Miriam tomorrow and ask her
Great.
what we need to do
Yeah,
to officially make the change, or if the town has to do anything on it, and,
Probably have to get noticed.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
let Miriam.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so let's figure it out.
yeah, I
But we should
mean,
also, yeah, so, and like,
but tomorrow we could tell the people,
exactly,
next Saturday, we're not gonna do it, we're gonna do it at another date that we'll come up with.
yeah. We can kind of figure that out offline.
Yes.
And just like also probably what subset of us wants to or needs to be there. So, yeah, and then we'll just kind of, it was like so funny. I was talking to like Reed about it, and he couldn't come with us with the walkthrough tomorrow, but he's like going to be available for questions and answers. But we were going back and forth, and we realized it was like, we've never done a walkthrough before for something like this. And he's like, neither have I. And I was like, I think we need to call people who've done this for best practices. He was like, thought it was like a different kind of walkthrough. So anyway, we had like some
There was already a building?
for like permitting, and it was like, so we had like some hilarious back and forth. And then he like called me and he's like, wait, what is this? And he was just like, oh, he's like, yeah, I've never done one. And I was like, well, that's not a help because I haven't done one either. I was like, well, I'm gonna call somebody else. Like,
Every once in a while it comes back that we are amateurs,
We are. We're learning.
but we're learning.
Yeah, it's great.
What time is the walkthrough tomorrow?
11?
11.
11?
So we'll meet here at 11.
Yeah.
Ooh, great.
If you do, Meg, do not answer on behalf of the town tomorrow.
No, not at all. I'm
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be, the lawyer and me just,
It's a friendly face.
yes,
just want to see what their curiosities are, what questions they have.
right.
So,
I don't like that.
so just as like our little bit of our homework is to figure out the pre-proposal
Yeah,
conference, so we can kind of do that offline.
yeah.
Do you want to just do it since just the three of us?
Well, I'm gonna call her before we
Great,
meet
okay.
tomorrow. We can
Amazing.
talk a bit then.
Just read. Texting about tomorrow. And. All right. I'm so excited about it. Does anybody have any other things about the RFQ that we should be talking about?
I'm gonna try to track down the other survey. We're missing from
Okay.
this. Should I add the timeline from the RFQ to this?
No, I think they have it. They already have it because it's published. But I love the thoroughness. I love the vibes.
I just wanted all the information in one place.
Right.
Okay.
Cool.
And it was good fun, going back and seeing what Chris had put together, 2 years ago. I can't believe it's 2 years
I
ago
believe it.
because
It
there's
feels
some,
like it's been a lifetime.
yeah, there's some good information in terms of checklist type of stuff
Yeah.
here.
Oh, I did actually have one thing, so we're kind of gonna get to the fund, but it was something that, it's kind of like in between both of those things. The, in my conversation with Wen about the ADUs, she brought up, did we want to consider using some of our funds to do basically bridge loans to help close the gap with some of the ADU?
It would all have to be how it was set up
Yeah, and so
when we got those funds.
yeah, so I would say it could be an approved use. It was, I would say it's, I have a couple different things, like it could be an approved use. It isn't what we said it was in the plan, but this is, but it is also kind of like in service of the ADUs, which wasn't our plan, so like it's auxiliary, right? And then the other thing to consider would be is that we might need it for the RFQ, right? But that said, we did just have a big settlement of like 103. So we're like 4,000, we're like just short of $1 million in the fund. So there is some there, but it would be something to think about. I'm kind of like torn about it.
Short-term bridge loans for what, the septic systems or?
No, we can't do it for the septic systems. That's.
Just
like,
if they get their grant, they need 10 grand, we're giving them a loan of 10 grand.
Yeah.
And eventually they'll pay it back to us.
Yeah. But
Is
I
there a
think,
time frame for the payback?
well, we
Well, that's
would
all up for
determine, we would have to
discussion.
determine all
Interest,
of it,
yeah.
Yeah.
right? And I think that would be like, it would have to be administered by somebody, right? So we probably would make, I mean, we either wouldn't charge, I mean, this is like just spaghetti against the wall, right? We would either charge like probably absolutely minimal interest. I would say, I think she brought up like a no interest, but I was like, we would have to charge some interest because we'd have to have somebody administer it. So the interest would have to cover, we don't have to make money on it, but we have to at
Cover
least
the
cover
cost.
the administration of it, right?
Well, it also, if it doesn't have some threshold of interest, it's not deemed a true loan, and so you can't make
Yeah.
a claim, so.
Exactly. And it's like, I mean, the IRS, what is the rate now is like the de minimis interest rate is like 4.33 or something like that. So which is less than the going interest rate. But
I don't think we have to be at that rate. It just has to be at a rate of law firm says we've met the threshold. I mean, we've done workout loans at 50 basis points. But it can't be zero.
yeah. But I think, I mean, and I guess that's like kind of something that I put to you guys is like, what are your,
I feel like that's, I mean, I feel like that's a absolutely legitimate use of the fund.
yeah,
And if we set up, what are, a percentage of our fund, $100,000 or
right.
whatever, and then
To be
just,
used for that.
yeah, to be used for that, like, we have to limit it. like-
Yeah,
But it also have to be on a case-by-case study. How far in debt is this person? Whatever,
yeah.
can they make the payments out? What are the terms, years?
I mean, my guess would be is that we could probably, I'm sure CDCLI, they do community financing, so they could
So they would
administer
know,
it.
yeah.
So my thought would be is we could go back to them and find out what their administration rates are, right? So that might also determine what our interest rates, you know what I mean? Like, I would just want to break even is
Yeah.
my thought. And then, we would have to kind of decide how much we thought we would want to put towards it. And maybe that could be a conversation with them as to what they thought the perceived need was. My other thought would be just around like it's like, okay, so what is the need that we're serving? If somebody wouldn't qualify for it, I'm hesitant to give them the loan because they can't pay it back. But if the killer is the interest rate, right? And if we could give them to it at if
Yeah,
us
exactly.
going at a lower interest rate makes it viable, then I think that's
Yeah.
Are
doable.
you thinking like a bridge to we're funding 50,000 or up to 50,000, like a soft cost startup until they get things going, or is this?
I don't know. I think-
sort of
I think that
equity
this is-
loan that may run 5 years, or could it be both or neither?
I don't know.
Okay.
You know, I
We
think
need
that.
more information, I
I
think.
think it would be worth it, so I just wanted to kind of bring it to the group just to see like how everybody was feeling about it. But my thought would be is, especially if we're trying to, we might have to sweeten the deal a little bit if we want to kind of get this, make sure that we're guarantee that we're getting this first round totally through on this timetable. So here would be my it sounds like we're interested. So maybe what I do is I have Gwen and one of her finance people come to the next meeting to talk to us about, maybe they can send some stuff in advance about like what they think the perceived need would be. Because basically they're working with these people on finances, and maybe they could give us like, you know, we think that if you guys came in with $15,000, it'd make it, you know, I don't know what they're gonna tell us, like, because they're reviewing all the financial applications, and we could kind of see like, do we think that we could peel enough off the fund to make a difference here? And then like what would the financing fees administration look like?
When you spoke with Gwen, she specifically used the term bridge loan,
Mhm.
because usually a bridge loan is for a short period of
Right.
time.
Right.
Until you can get real
Yeah.
financing.
So you can get real financing, so that's
Well,
that's
yeah.
why I'm interested in what she
Well-
would say. I think that's a great thing to have her come in.
So one of the things that they said that there is some potential other low interest rate monies that may become, that looks like they might become available from New York State. So basically what she was saying, and I was like, well, let me just like go see if there's like an appetite for even starting this conversation. But one of her ideas is if we thought that that was a go, then we could kind of do the interim bridge financing until the New York money came through so that these people can make this round. Right? So, but I don't know what the, you know, like I said, I was like, that's a lot of what ifs, I don't know, like, let me talk to the group.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, if-
CLI does already run a bridge loan program for the septic program in the county.
Yeah.
So they do a $10,000 bridge loan if you need it while you're getting your septic upgrade before the grants get paid. So that's something they already do, so maybe they can tell you how that works. And I
Yeah,
don't think it's used a lot. I think they're not getting as much interest in the loan program as they thought they were gonna get.
Mhm.
But it does exist, so they can tell you kind of how maybe they've managed that.
exactly, yeah. So I mean, they do this, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't even consider it unless we were able to work with a partner that was able to
to handle.
to do it. I was like, that is like more administration than,
That would mean it would be short term, and that makes sense in everything that
yeah.
finance.
I mean, I think for what I'm kind of like thinking about is, which is like also like, you know, so like we're almost at 1 million, right? If, you know, we do have, you know, kind of thinking about with the costs are rising now, what are the costs gonna be on this project? Is that gonna mean that we're gonna have to, like, what is the, you know, if, just like there's a lot of like changes coming in, if things tighten up from the feds, does that mean there's less money available? Does that mean that we're gonna have to come in with more with costs, right? You know what I mean? Like, so I do wanna kind of make sure that we might need some of this money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so just to be smart about, but you know, like you said, if we could peel off $100,000 and make a couple of ADUs happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it.
Mhm.
Otherwise, this money's just sitting there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, we should make it work.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then Peter, I guess I was just gonna ask you, just because like, should we expect any other big months or like, what do you?
It slowed down considerably.
Yeah,
I think you got the big one, yeah.
I got the big one. Okay. Girl can dream. Girl can dream. Yes, and hopefully next month we break 1 million.
Yep.
It's exciting.
Pretty close.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
You're in Vegas.
We have an open seat. An open seat. And we've had a couple applications. So that's cool. We have one, we're gonna, Peter is able to come
Okay.
Tuesday. We're gonna talk to a couple of folks, one of whom is a retired architect builder, so I'm excited, but both is really strong, exciting candidates, so that'd be cool.
How many do we have so far?
2,
2.
so that's neat. Yeah. So more to be revealed. And as I always ask, I gotta ask every month, I need money.
So the pro housing update. Originally, we were told that you cannot make any amendments to the resolution that was given to us by the state. But Southampton has amended that resolution and submitted it to the state, so we're kind of waiting to see what happens with that. So if the state just rejects Southampton's amended resolution, then we're like, okay, we know it will work. But if they accept it, then we're like, cool, then we could play with the resolution and then send it up and see if they'll accept it.
Do you have a sense of like the timeline is on that?
They sent it in, I wanna say a month or two ago, so we should have some kind of response relatively soon, I think.
Yeah, it would be great to know, especially as like this RFQ gets closer and closer and there's just like pots of money that we can't touch. It's like, and the costs go up and up and up, and I'm just like, I don't. Yeah, it would be great to, and you guys are not, the board has no appetite to amend, to pass it as is?
Not as it's written.
That's too
You
bad.
kind of give away home rule, so it kind of makes it. It's tricky.
All right, old business?
I don't think I have any.
New business?
Yes.
Great.
So,
What is your business?
we put in for the CBGB
CBGB.
grant
CBGB
for the
Alpha?
community housing survey.
Yeah,
So originally, we were thinking that wouldn't come through until September, but it turns out we might be able to do it sooner if you wanted to do this spring, summer for the survey instead of the fall, winter for the survey. It's up to you guys as to whether or not you wanna work in that shorter time frame.
I definitely want to do the survey. I don't think we would be able to do a very good job of it if we're also trying to roll this out and fill the thing.
That was my thought too,
Yeah.
but I want to let you know that that might be an option.
That's awesome. No, I mean, that's great. I would always rather have the money sooner, but I mean, what that tells me is that we probably need to put a call out to find somebody to do the survey and start like interviewing them and like kind of start that whole process. That's great.
So if money does exist, we will have it, so just.
When does it come in, do you think?
There was a possibility that it might come in this spring, early
And-
summer.
Okay, and we have a year to spend it, is that
If
right?
not, we'll get it in September and then you have the whole,
Okay, so if it came in, I was just trying to think of like the cycle. If it came in this spring, then we'd have till next spring to spend it.
yes.
Okay. So, okay, that's totally fine. So it just sounds like then maybe we just,
Gotta find some.
well, we have to put out like a, oh my God. Oh, I love an RFP. No, I think this is an RFP.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's an RFP, right?
Yeah, so we got, cool.
How much is the?
It's like 30, 35?
I think it was like 35,000.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I remember doing that homework of calling around and figuring out how much it was gonna be, then being like, that's how much we need.
For the fund, there's approximately 18 million in contract, so 0.5%, so 75,000
Okay.
Cool.
coming in. It's a lot more in contract, but they don't meet that, they're all under 2 million, so they don't get, it's exempt.
Thanks, I am very grateful that you can just math it and just be like,
That makes this out of.
yeah, I know, I was just like, what's our revenue?
Do it in
next
my
month?
head.
Yeah. We're pretty lucky. Okay,
That's
so,
exciting to do a new survey.
I know,
I'm
I
very
know.
excited about that.
I'm really excited. Oh, I was gonna say, kind of back to the ADU, I spoke to, oh my goodness, I'm gonna embarrass myself. The young lady, the reporter,
Yes,
the Long Island,
press.
thank you.
I don't remember her name, but
Yeah, so Emma?
yes. Maybe.
Oh. it's
All
coming to
right,
me.
Liz.
Anyway, she reached out to talk to us about the community housing fund and the ADUs and all the stuff that we had going on, and she came out. I think we're actually gonna get a story somewhere at some
Haven't seen it
time.
yet, right?
I haven't seen it yet. And she came out and walked through Jimbo and Mary's property and came and talked to folks. But anyway, we were talking about, she was asking about like our 5-year plan and stuff like, and just being able to do the survey, so.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm like really excited to just be like, I'm so excited that it would be fun to review what we did. I think we've like done pretty good to it. Like, we've done like very well to the plan, and then to just kind of like figure out.
Yeah, and Taylor Vessey's article was very good that she did. At Dan's. It's in Behind the Hedges, actually.
Okay.
You didn't read it?
I only do taxes.
Next time I get them, I'll try and find it and forward it to the board.
Okay. I was like, is it a corporate tax return? That's all I read. That's all I read right now.
Going back to the survey.
Yeah,
I wasn't here. Who did the survey initially?
Nelson Pope and Voorhees,
Yeah.
that was with the main housing plan, it was.
yeah, they did with the housing plan, but they didn't do they didn't do a community survey because we didn't, that wasn't part of what we did for the plan.
Right.
What we realized when we did the plan is that we wanted to do one. And
Okay,
so we were just like.
so there wasn't an RFP at that point?
No, it was.
Unlike on.
You know where my brain was going.
I do.
Yeah, it was like,
Oh, well.
yeah. I'm sure we can, I'm sure I got it.
It won't be as complicated.
No, of course, no, that I get.
It's just, it'll be short and sweet.
Like, really what we're gonna do is like, I'm gonna call East Hampton
Right.
and be like, hey,
You're right. Who did
send
you
me some
use it?
stuff, you know?
Did you put out an RFP for it?
Yeah, I was like, let me edit, like, can I crib your work?
Yeah.
And she always lets us crib her work, so
It's good.
she's,
The good ones always do.
it's like, just use it. I think that's it. David, do you?
With all that's going on, that's
I know.
amazing.
Just to kind of talk about to talk about our homework, what are our action items? The thing that we got to work out, and we can kind of talk a little bit more about tomorrow, is like the conference.
And I hopefully
And just
will
work out
find
the-
her beforehand.
Yeah, we'll just work out the details. We'll be palling around, talking to these guys, so we can just hammer out the details at that point. And then I will reach out to Kate at some point in the next week or two and just get her to send me an RFQ for a housing thing, and then I can bring it to us and we can juge it.
Yeah.
Go back to Texas. This is like a vacation for you.
Actually, we bought my parents' house and they're starting demo tomorrow, so I have to go.
Oh, my
Before I got
God.
back from vacation, so I have to go clear out my parents' kitchen. That's what Rosie and David are over there now. And then I'm gonna go do taxes.
Well,
But
they
yeah,
fired everybody at the IRS, so do you really have to do the taxes?
well, I'm glad you asked. They fired 6,700 people at the IRS. 5,000 of them were in compliance for high earners and corporate, so.
Of course they are.
Yeah, I was like, so all
Yeah,
my
Jeez Louise.
all my small and medium-sized businesses will face the same audit rates, so
No,
no rest for the
I'm
wicked.
sorry.
That's all. Does anybody else have anything? Pam, Julie? Friends, countrymen?
Fine, thank you.
All right.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Right.
Love to second that
Hey.
one. All right, thanks for the good times, you guys.
Minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye,
Because
everyone.
we're doing so much work in between.
Yeah.